Chris, the Night in White has been such a spectacular event. The lives are changing all over the world.
That's right.
Because of individuals like the one we have with us.
Yes.
Phil Guarnieri, the CEO of Empire State Bank and the honoree of the Night in White. Phil, thank you so much for everything you do.
It's my pleasure, and just thank you for you guys and getting the message out about the organization, but also all the people that showed up.
Oh,
Okay, it was a huge turnout. It was very warming to me to see people that, I've been through my career and organizations all come out. And I know to some degree I get the credit, but they're really out here for the cause, to help young adults that need that little extra help. Okay, so that's what's rewarding.
Phil, what you're doing, that change, what motivated you as a young man to say, when I get in this position, as I grow in my career, in my craft, what motivated you at that time in your life, young man, that said, I'm going to make that difference one day? Because you're making a huge difference.
I love people. Okay, just in general, I love people. I love to meet new people. I love to meet people of different cultures, nationalities, races, and all, because it's always been a learning experience.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it helps me in my business. Okay, but it's very rewarding. And from that, I'm blessed. I mean, my childhood was a nice childhood.
Yeah.
But as I started to go out into the marketplaces and get involved, and started to realize that I am fortunate and some people are not as fortunate as me. Okay? And it's not because there's much difference in us, but there may have been some obstacles, something in their lives. So the children is where it starts, right? So the children, like we all say, is the future, right? The children's are the one that are going to take over from people like myself. And I have kids of children, right? And I have grandchildren, right? So as I started to have the opportunity, and I thank my bank, okay, because if they didn't support me in doing this, and if I didn't have a team of employees that do their job and do it well, then I wouldn't be able to do this. So huge credit goes to all of them, okay? I happen to be the one that's standing here and gets honored, but it's all the people in the background that's always the ones that make things happen. So with that, I found the love for helping younger people. I'm love to mentor. I find it very rewarding. I find that it's things that I love to do. It takes away from my crazy job of what I do, right? But it's that outlet. So for years, I've been going into schools, getting involved in organizations that either directly I've done financial literacy myself. I love to teach. I love to get in front of young adults and things like that. Coming up soon for PS 112 and in Brooklyn, we're going to go in as a bank and teach financial literacy to fifth graders.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The funny thing is we take for granted that even adults graduating high school understand even how to count money.
yeah.
Right? And we take how to write a check.
Counting. Yeah.
Right? So I think that if we get them young and we teach them, it starts to give them the foundation to build on. Okay? So, but I think more attention has to be given to that at risk or those children that need more, and we need to focus on that because they need that little extra.
Oh, yeah, you're giving direction. Otherwise, they're going the wrong way.
And in this day and age, direction is so important. And Phil, the influence that people get in the wrong direction right now, what you're giving is phenomenal.
Right. And look, I always say this, I'm one person. There were many people in that room upstairs. There's many people all over that do this. Okay. And I just think if we all just do it a bit more, or more people that are not doing it and do it, I mean, just think how much better things could be.
I love that. There's no I in team.
It's just Yeah, as I said, I look and, unfortunately you turn on the TV and you want to cry,
Yeah.
right? Even what goes on today. So,
Sure.
and that's why I even at the event, I gave kudos to the teachers, because the teachers are extension of parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't get credit. They really not get credit. They do not get paid for what they do, and they certainly don't get the credit. And, they're the ones that mold our lives. I mean, I can go back, and I'm sure we all could, teachers in your career that just, molded us and helped us and stuff. So I just think it's what we should be doing.
Phil, you talk about doing the right thing, and your position, the CEO of the Empire State Bank, a man who's giving back to so many people, yet you are such an amazing, humble man. I mean, for our listeners, the Live Your Dream podcast, up-and-coming entrepreneurs, people that think they have to have this, like, attack the world and this aggression, what would you give a young, up-and-coming, what would you give advice to them to stay humble, but still go for what they're looking for?
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess what it is for me is I enjoy what I do.
Sure.
Okay? I enjoy my profession, but at the same point, I get the gratification of helping others.
Yeah.
Right? And the one thing that I think people miss in that is it's a two-way street, right? So as I'm helping others, others are helping me. Okay? I learn a lot. I learn that helps even my business about other people, other, cultures, races, whatever, that, we're all the same. We're all people, right? But if you live in that cocoon, right, you never see anything else, and your visions, your thoughts are just so kept in that small thing. But if you spend the time, and that's why I said I like people. I like all people, right? So I've learned so much just by giving. People don't realize what I've gotten from it, okay? And that's really my satisfaction. So what I do say to any young adult, you have dreams, you should have them. You take a step at a time, right? Because we don't go from here to there, right? It's a building, but each step is a positive step. Don't be afraid to get knocked back, because you learn from mistakes, right? That's what builds you to be a better person, right? So with that, I say go after your dreams. You can achieve them, but on your path, give back to other people. And other people, you will realize, I mean, we're a commercial bank, but what we really are is a community commercial bank. And and this is just not me, this is everyone that works for us. Our customers are almost like our friends.
Sure.
Because we just want to help them, right? So when you get hired at Empire State Bank, the first question you're asked is, do you want to help people? And if you don't want to help people, maybe there's another profession for you or another company for you. But here, this is when a customer has an issue, we have to do our best to solve it. Maybe we're not going to come up with the best solution, but we have to have something. So that's what I'm fortunate, because I have a staff that's that way, and that you just build on. So
I really, really, really like what you're doing. Your mission statement with your bank, your own personal mission statement, reminds me of this poem, which talks about letting your own inner light shine to liberate other people to do the same. You're doing that.
Yeah.
Great example.
So it's, no, you're certainly correct. And people will be surprised how rewarding it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I find this as fun. I find this as rewarding. I don't find it as something labor intensive or I just, after a while, it just becomes natural. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? And when it turns that way, you enjoy, you can embrace things better. You can get yourself to higher levels. So I encourage every young adult to get an education. I encourage every young adult to find mentors on their path. And if you find yourself in a job or something where you don't have a mentor, maybe time to move on. Okay? Because and I say this to my own managers in my bank, that, part of your job is to bring the people under you forward. Okay? Don't worry about your job, because if you're doing what you're doing, you're going to advance. Right? Right? So, and if you do that, you will build a nice team of people behind you. If you find that you're in a position, and sometimes people stay in jobs for years, right? And they just wasted their time not learning anything. So you got to have that inner power to learn, to excel, to help. And if you do that, it comes natural.
It doesn't take much more energy to be good than bad, right?
No. And I think a lot of people have to realize, and one's definition of fortune is different for all.
Of course.
It's different for all. Some of it could be monetary. Some of it doesn't have to be monetary. Okay? But fortunate people should want to share their fortune. And in some cases, it just doesn't mean you got to write a check. Some cases, give what you know. Give your experiences, your things like that to other people, and let them make the decision of whether that makes sense for them.
It is phenomenal what you have done here for lives across the state, the world, and for our viewers to share your knowledge, like you said. Thank you, Phil, so much for everything you do.
And I thank both of you, okay, because you're the medium to get the word out, okay? And it's like what I said to the teachers. They're the ones that mold our children, right? People like you taking a positive message, right? Because if my message just stood with me, it just stays with me. But the ability to be here with both of you, the ability to be with people that are promoting good, right? That's what we need to do, promote good, right? It's so easy to turn the TV and see bad, right?
Yeah.
But what you're doing is what needs to be done. So I give you kudos for what you do, because you're getting the good word out to make change.